My patient's brown teeth completely scared me away. He threatened to sue if I didn't take care of his chocolate chips. I called my patient Butterteeth and he left my office in tears because I told him he should have glowed up by now. As a dentist you stare at a lot of ugly faces. The only thing that can save you is having pearly whites. And you can't just get veneers and call it a day, but actual bone teeth can turn a penny to a 10. This patient I bullied had the worst acne I'd ever seen, an emo haircut straight from 2011 Tumblr, and teeth that made everything look 10 times worse. I audibly gagged in disgust looking at him. No one should have chompers like that. I don't know what vibe I gave off, but when he saw me, he lit up and trauma dumped his entire life story to me. He said he didn't have any friends at school since he looked like a mole rat, but he had a huge crush on the girls' tennis team captain. He said every time he tried talking to somebody at his school, they would call him Butterteeth. But when his crush lent him a pencil during class, he decided he couldn't fumble another opportunity like that again. He came in the next day with flowers, a huge confetti shooter, and a box of chocolates to ask her out in the perfect way. But when he tried to ask her out, she looked at his teeth and giggled a little, and he was so distracted by her laughter that he dropped the huge confetti shooter on his busted toe and started crying hysterically. Apparently, everybody pointed and laughed at him, and the girl was embarrassed that he even thought he had a chance with her. He even started tearing up while telling me the story because he'd never felt that low before. He knew he wasn't the best looking, but he didn't realize that the girl he thought would marry him one day couldn't even stand to be near him. So, he came here to see what he could change so that everyone could finally see him differently. I insisted that all he had to do was fix his teeth and he would be set for life. His new smile would make him really confident. He thought I was lying to him, so I told him to look up the missing tooth missing eyebrow guy. As soon as he saw that image, he was convinced and I started working on his teeth. I asked how they were so stained and yellow, and he said he drank a lot of coffee because he stays up playing Genshin Impact every night. His mouth also smelled awful and it made me gag. I was surprised he wasn't affected by the smell, but he must have gotten used to it by now. I told him his oral hygiene was really bad, so we needed to whiten his teeth and get rid of his bad breath. He asked if I could give him veneers since it was a quick solution, and he didn't want to get made fun of anymore. He said that if better teeth were going to change what little he had left of his teenage years, then he wanted to do it fast. I couldn't give him veneers because that would only cover up the problem, not get rid of it. He wanted to know how he could get white teeth naturally, and my answer to him was that he needed to brush his teeth with toothpastes that don't have harsh chemicals in them because brands like Crest and Colgate, which everybody uses for some reason, have fluoride and hydrated silica. Too much fluoride leads to brown spots in the tooth and weakens it, making it more brittle and easier to chip off. As for hydrated silica, it damages tooth enamel, and using it to brush your teeth is like using sand to clean glass. So, if he thought he was cleaning his teeth every day, he was actually doing more damage and making it far dirtier than before. I told him that just changing to a natural toothpaste with better ingredients would be more effective for him since the standard brands weren't working. Lately, I've only been giving my patients ORL toothpaste because it has xylitol, which reduces the risk of tooth decay by eliminating the bacteria that causes the decay, and avoids all harsh chemicals, including fluoride and hydrated silica. It also has the best taste, which makes it easier for my patients not to go back to their usual sweet toothpaste. But honestly, any toothpaste without harsh chemicals works. You just have to do the research first to make sure it's actually safe for you. My patient tried arguing with me when he saw that toothpaste costs almost $30, even though people spend thousands on clothes, makeup, and useless fitness equipment. But teeth are the only thing you can never take off. When I explained it to him that way, he accepted the ORL toothpaste, and I scheduled him for a 4-week checkup since that would be enough time for the toothpaste to show some results. 4 weeks later, I actually found him talking with the other people in the waiting room. This was something he had never done before, but he seemed really comfortable talking with everyone. The moment he entered my office, he immediately started ranting about his life, and as soon as he started speaking, I could see, and smell, the difference. This past month, his schoolmates had stopped saying bad things about him, and nobody called him Butterteeth since his teeth weren't yellow anymore. And because he was far more approachable now that he was more confident with his appearance, he had some friends who invited him out a lot. Most of his nights were spent partying with them or playing video games. Mind you, he hadn't groomed himself at all and still had acne all over his cheeks and a horrible bowl cut. All he did was fix his teeth with the ORL toothpaste and people were all over him. So, I sent him off with one request: well, everything is fine with you except for that haircut. Please go see a competent barber.